Hello and welcome to episode 0 of Three Pillars Cast. I just finished my first attempt at this that I cut off early because I was recording way too loud. So the whole time it was just me sounding, I was just peeking out the audio the entire time. And it sounded really, really funny. So this is a thing I've really wanted to do for a long time. For years, I've wanted to get into some kind of creative avenue, even just as a hobby, to try and just, express my inner arts and, creativity. And I've always struggled to find what medium that would be in. Like I've for a while I wanted to make, YouTube videos, things like machinimas and stuff. Cause that was, when I really got into YouTube and just, I guess media creation in general, that was what was hot at the time. Stuff like Freeman's Mind or, obviously Red versus Blue. And as a kid, I was like, wow, this is really funny stuff. And I just, I never really got into that. I've had like some tech, mild tech background, but I've never gotten into all the editing programs and like everything necessary to go into that, and never really had the ability to have a cast for that kind of thing. But here we are with a podcast. Hopefully this ends up going well. We'll see. What you just heard before I started talking was an intro that I had a good friend of mine, Zach, at Zachariah Hubbard on Twitter, make. I told him just to kind of whip something up, and that's what he came up with, and I like it. Especially just starting off. So I would definitely check out his stuff. He's got a YouTube channel, and he goes by, I think it's Club Mosses on YouTube. Otherwise, it's just Zachariah Hubbard as well. If you're listening on YouTube, I'll just link everything. But yeah, I guess try and find that on Twitter if you're not listening on YouTube. Maybe just go find the YouTube video just for the link. But he's a very creative dude. I've seen him play live with other bands that he, I don't know if he's still in, but he has played with before. So, yeah, he's definitely got to me, a unique sound. So, hopefully I can have him on the podcast one day. It shouldn't be too hard to get him, but we'll see. So anyways, this is episode 0. It's kind of just an episode to explain what this show is going to be all about. So for a long time, as I kind of stated, I've wanted to get into things creatively. And as I would plan things, it always just kind of fell apart. But the one thing that kind of stuck with was just being able to make things for others, especially people who are not having a good time. And with the way this year's been, and I guess honestly, for a lot of us adults, the last 5 years maybe, depending on your situation, sometimes you just need to to find something to lift you up in in hard times. Obviously, like I said, this year not good overall when it comes to just everyday life. Everything's so different with the pandemic and everything. So yeah, I wanted to start this a lot sooner, but it's just it for me it's really hard to just talk into a microphone. I've never sat and done this before, so I'm breaking new ground. Hopefully you can break new ground by enjoying the things that my guests I eventually will have on will talk about. The premise is to share just forms of entertainment, be it media or hobbies or whatever, and just kind of break down what they mean to said person, whoever my guest would be at the time. I'll give an example right now, I guess. 2017, I was having a real hard time, and I had went and seen Blade Runner in theaters, and for some reason, Blade Runner 2049, that is. For some reason, that movie really connected with me, and it helped me kind of I rewired my headspace, and then shortly after, just everything started to get better. To be fair, I was in a kind of a shitty job situation. But because I was able to kind of cleanse with this movie and, just reset, I ended up looking for other jobs, and I had found something that allowed me to, be a little more comfortable, which then eventually led to now. And I guess in all things considered, even with the state of the world right now, I would say overall I'm in a pretty good position mentally. Some of you may not be, but like I said, that's the point of this show, is to just uplift. So I guess more about me. I've been in retail for 10 years, and as far as I know, that's how it might continue. We'll see. But I guess we'll go down a list of things that I enjoy. For someone who's 26, so, I've grown up with music, video games, obviously movies. We're in an internet age, right? So when it comes to video games, some examples would be stuff. I grew up playing Pokemon Emerald. Jet Set Radio was a big influence in what year? 2004, 2005, as a youngling. And eventually that led into things. Playing a lot of stuff on Xbox, Fallout New Vegas. I played a lot of Halo as a kid too. And then transitioned to Halo 3 with online gameplay. Halo Reach, Halo 3 ODST. Eventually gave way to fighting games, mostly Super Smash Brothers, but I've dabbled in a little bit of Mortal Kombat and whatnot. And I guess indie games too. Huge indie game fan, especially Hyper Light Drifter, which has been a game like Blade Runner almost in a way to just define the way that I go about looking at life in general. Some music I enjoy. I'm very much a post-hardcore, current progressive metal, progressive rock boy. So bands like Hail the Sun, Dance Gavin Dance. Some other things that aren't like that. John Bellion, huge John Bellion fan. He's an absolute legend. Other bands, Sea in the Sky, Seder. I just recently discovered a band called Properties of Nature. Some real interesting music there. And yeah, so those are just, they all just sound great. I mean, to each their own, obviously. Rundown of some movies, shows, and other content, I guess. Obviously, I stated Blade Runner early on. And who knows, maybe I talk more in depth about that in a future episode. But most of my friends are like, "Oh my God, he's talking about Blade Runner again," because it's that important to me, Other shows and whatnot. The Expanse. I've been watching that since it was on Sci-Fi in season 1. Olin Rogers made a show called Final Space that's on, I believe, TBS. But the Blu-ray for season 2 just came out, and I finally caught up with that. Definitely hits my also child YouTube era where I was watching all kinds of his videos, and I've grown up with him and seen him, flourish to this point. I guess I also watch various anime or anime movies. I do indulge in a lot of sports content. Mostly baseball and football. And then I guess the other thing is just YouTube. Lots of YouTube, as I stated earlier. Lots of, documentaries on YouTube, video essays about random video game topics and the like. But yeah, that's kind of, that's the gist of me. Obviously, as podcasts go on, you'll learn more about me. You'll learn more about guests and everything. But yeah, so yeah, I guess with all that out of the way, I don't really have much more planned for this. It was just kind of get on and talk about this project, and hopefully it'll continue. So I plan on releasing, hopefully shortly after episode 0, I'll have an actual episode 1 out with, I still don't know the guest, but we'll figure that out as we go. So I guess thanks for listening. Hopefully this wasn't too dull. It's my first shot, so, give me a chance for when I actually have a guest on. I like to think I talk better when it's not just me. So yeah, that should about wrap it up. Subscribe to the YouTube for future episodes. Evolved Icon on YouTube. Follow the cast on Twitter at 3pillarscast. The 3 is the number 3. And yeah, see you around for future episodes.